Hi everyone, you are going to be using a pilot's logbook to answer questions and to write sentences using the past tense. A pilot's logbook is basically their resume. So if you are a pilot, you've already seen what these look like. There is some variation between logbooks and but they all have basically the same information. So you should be able to use the information from this logbook to interpret that with other logbooks. Now, just so you know, this logbook is from a student pilot. These are his first few flights. So if you notice that the numbers are very low, that is why. All right, so let's look at the different categories from this logbook. So first of all, you have the aircraft make and model. That is just what it sounds like, what kind of aircraft is being flown. And this is the number that this particular model is. Next, we have the aircraft identification number. That is the number given to the specific aircraft that is being flown by the pilot in this particular flight. You can see that flight number right here. All right, next we have the points of departure and arrival. You'll notice that where the pilot took off from and landed in is the exact same airport. So basically the pilot took off, flew around the airport and landed again. Okay, in this case, it is our airport here in Kansas. Next, you'll notice the airplane SEL, that means single engine land. That is the type of aircraft. It is one of the more simple aircrafts. It is an airplane. It has one engine and it flies over land, not water. Next, you have the number of hours spent in this aircraft. So this pilot flew for 1.2 hours, or 1 hour and 2/10 of an hour. So that would be 12 minutes. So 1 hour and 12 minutes. The next category, which our pilot did not use, was the airplane multiple engine over land. So this pilot did not get to fly in a multiple engine plane. Next, you'll see dual received. That is because this pilot was in a co-pilot seat. The pilot in command over here was the flight instructor. The number of hours spent is the same as the number of hours in the previous column. That tells us that this particular pilot was never the pilot in command. Okay, the next thing you'll notice are conditions of the flight. So was there anything special about this flight, or was it a straightforward daytime, no bad weather type of flight? You can see that different categories exist in this, but our pilot didn't fly at night and did not fly across country. In fact, he never even left the area of the airport. Actual instruments, he did not use any of his instruments. He used purely visual flying. So that's what that column would indicate. Next is simulated instruments. Basically, they put a hood over his head so he could only see the instruments and could not see through the windows of the airplane. And he did that for 0.3 hours. So about 18 minutes of the flight was practicing flying without being able to see out the windows. Next, you'll see the number of instrument approaches. That is, how many flights did this particular pilot use without being able to see? In this case, none. The next column is the number of landings and whether those landings happen during the day or at night. You'll notice in the first section, the first 3 flights, this pilot did not land at all. The flight instructor did all of the landings. However, in the next flight, the pilot landed 3 times. So he took off and landed 3 times. Next, you'll have remarks, procedures, and maneuvers. These are anything that the pilot did that they wanted to highlight in their pilot's logbook. So you can see in this one, this particular pilot, this was their first flight. He flew straight and level with no climbs or turns. Also, you'll notice that this one is signed by the certified flight instructor, and it has this certified flight instructor's number and date. The last one, you can see that there are no remarks, probably because this poor pilot did not have a very good day. Finally, the last thing you'll see down at the bottom is the pilot's signature. That's all you need to know. So good luck on the rest of this exercise.